little boy still pushing big girls. Stuck my money like little chill. Regardless the way I feel. Anyways, do you remember that song?
Oh my god, what is even happening?
I don't know, your hair did it. Oh my gosh. Hello, everybody. This is WUFO East Coast, week 42.
I do it right. Does it look like I have like a mullet?
What is happening?
We don't know.
What happens when you push live while we're still talking backstage.
This is what PhD students are. I don't know. That's all. This is what real professional scientists look like, in case you were wondering.
I was talking about photochemical stuff with Cliffy before this, and he was like, ooh, I sent him like a picture of all the chemicals. I was mixing some new ones and stuff, and I was like, ooh, I'm such a chemist with my photo stuff, and I was like, then I talked to Adler, who's actually a PhD candidate for chemistry, and I'm like, clown, like I'm just a clown. Follow instructions. My hand is being held. Oh my God. I took one chemistry class.
That's all you need.
And I was at like a C, you guys.
That's fine. A C in chemistry? Listen.
Once we got to the equations, I just stopped. Right? I had like an A+, and then like when we got to the equations, like, I was just like, I don't get like I don't know. Like it was one of those chemistry classes where the whole class did not get the equations, and we were like, teach us differently. Like this is so difficult and miserable, and this is like 9 weeks left.
I know exactly what math it is, and let me tell you,
it's like what is that called? I've forgotten. I've blacked it out.
It's stoichiometry.
Oh my god.
It's like the thing that you need to do any chemistry forever, and like the first year you're like, this is not correct, and then after like 4 years you're like, oh, this is so easy. Well, those first,
Do I need more than 9 weeks?
Yeah. Okay. It's really hard to explain to students because you're like, look, you just multiplied, and they're like, no.
But like, it doesn't make sense because you have like I can't even get into it. Like, there's a hiccup in the system, and it doesn't make sense. And there would be like exceptions. Like, no, it either is or it is not. Like, I don't understand. The paranormal investigator says. Oh my god.
Really?
In the comments. Okay, guys. We're at week 42 of WUFO. We took a break off last week. I was traveling. Yeah, and in case you're new, WUFO stands for like Wednesday night UFO watch, and it's something that we started back in January. Yeah, essentially it's based off of the Mothman prophecies, this entry by John Keel where he talks about you being most likely to see a UFO at 10 p.m. on Wednesday. So that's just become a tradition of ours, and we have created shows out of it. It started with a live contact session where we just tried to actually reach out to aliens, had some really fun experiences, had some really cool people join us in that, and then we've tried to become as accessible as possible, and that product was multiple shows, multiple time zones, and then here at the top of the next hour we'll be joined in by the West Coast crew, and we'll do the traditional live contact sessions that we since the beginning, and I don't know what exactly we're gonna do yet, but I think we'll have some ideas after we share some stories. I think there's a few different things that we can do. But stay tuned for that. That'll be so it's 9:06 my time, so at 10 my time that'll be when that starts. But like, I just, as long as I don't hear like the word stoichiometry in my Estes, like that first couple minutes of Estes, your subconscious is really wild and you're just spitting out all this garbage, and I really think that like the stoichiometry demons are gonna haunt me again.
Oh my God. Conversions.
I was like, where's the learning curve? And everyone got like 60s. We're like, okay, 44. It's like worst class of my life.
Chemistry is wild. Wild.
Big part of Adler's life.
Which is why I look like this. I gave up. I was trying to get my hair out of the hair tie, and it's not going to come out. So
oh my God.
I gave up right here.
I love it.
My candidacy is in less than 2 weeks, and my brain is like not on.
You're doing so great. You're doing so great. Keep it up.
You want to hear the funniest thing, Bex? You want to hear my ridiculous story?
Yeah.
So,
of course.
I work for several professors, but one of them who I teach for, he asked me a few weeks ago, he's like, can I ask you a weird question? And I was like, sure. And he's like, will you be in my will? And so I'm now in this professor's will in case him and his wife die, then I get his 2 cats and like money to look after his cats. And he told me on yesterday, that I am already in his will as Dr. Kuper. So
that is so sweet.
It's so sweet. And he goes, sorry, no pressure.
You're like, so do I get it if I don't become like,
right?
do I just not get it if
like, they go to like fail me at some point in the next 2 years? And it's like, no, you can't because it's in a will. So like,
yeah,
don't make this man.
That's legally binding.
You have to give it to me.
And that is how you follow your dreams.
This is how I get my doctorate, is just, exploitation.
Man, I really hate saying this because the entire time I'm in it, I want to die, but I really miss academia. And like, I wish that there were master's programs for mycology in the United States, or like ones that are like accessible, international, that I could do online. And it's just like, not for people. Like,
no, it doesn't
make money with it.
It doesn't exist. And it's like, why? You have these people fucking playing with batteries and trying to make windows fucking glow, and it's not working. Who cares? Like,
I know. And then mycologists have like discovered how to eat up oil spills with fucking oyster mushrooms, and then there's 0 traces of those oil compounds within the mushroom tissue, therefore making it completely edible after. Excuse me? No funding? No classes? So you work with the botanical gardens and you just give them your specimens, and then they'll tell you what they figure out in 2 to 5 years. Yeah.
Academia. It's 10 out of 10.
Absolutely. So that's, just the woes of academia here. But I am really excited to tell everyone about my trip. And obviously I advertised it. I had like a Bigfoot experience on like Hallows Eve, at sunset, and it was just so perfect.
Perfect.
So,
terrifying.
It really was. But I don't know. I was like, I think I know what this is, and I like narrowed it down to 2 possibilities and was just like, okay, like I have a new perspective on this part of the phenomenon now. Like when this part of my perspective is forever changed when I hear witness reports, when I, watch the shows, when, you talk to people about their experiences. I'm like one of those people now, so that's cool. So yeah, I'll start with the Bigfoot. I actually have the rocks. That's just a hint. But they're in the other room. So if we can have just like a minute of awkward Adler time. I just need to go get them off of, where the bar part is? I just have to run in there. I'll be right back.
Oh my God. Awkward Adler time. It's great. That's what I do with my students. This is what they experience every day. That's just me staring off into a corner. Like reading comments now. I don't want to bring up stoichiometry again, but I see that Mythbusters comment. Mm-hmm. Yep, this is it. Oh no. Recite Jabberwocky. Oh God. Bags come back.
Love that I didn't eat it. That's fantastic.
I'm just like
so excited.
My brain's gone. I could just hear him stare at the camera. That's what I should do, is just a staring contest next time.
Okay. That's gonna be really fun for the people.
Just, like, who's gonna win?
Oh my gosh. I tried to like upload the videos I took during this experience. I sent them, to the guys. I was gonna wait until after we talked about it on here because I wanted your reactions to be genuine. So I haven't told you very much about it. But I'll send you the videos after. I just couldn't put them on the program because my MP4 converter was being a jerk. So, but I guess I could like try to. Is that gonna work out for us? I don't know. But I'm gonna tell a story. So I have the the last night I was in Oregon, like the full day. Me and my cousin and her husband, we go to Lincoln City and we're like getting souvenirs and stuff, and I got like my goodies. I'll show you guys. I was telling Adler about like the store. I went to like this witchy store, and it was ran by like the meanest lady I've ever met in my life. And so like we'll talk about that. But I got the cute goodies. She had the beeswax dipped candles, you guys, so it's like I had to get them. I had to. No one sells those, and those were really hard to make. Anyways, hello everyone joining. So after we are like shopping in Lincoln City, we find this waterfall trail, and it's like 3 miles-ish round trip. But you basically end at like a suspension bridge and like a waterfall, and it's beautiful. And we're hiking, and it's in like within the golden hour, so it's that last hour of good daylight, but it's shifting and it's different. And I mean, we're on the trail for like 30 or 45 minutes, like having a great time and like finding all these mushrooms. And it's been really dry here in Kentucky, at least the last month or so. So there hasn't been any. So I was just like, oh my gosh, everywhere. Oh my gosh. And then my cousin yells over, like, stop it, you guys. And we're both like, what did we do? Like, we were like in a mushrooms. Like, what do you mean? And she was like, well, like right before I was gonna cross this first little bridge, like a rock fell. And I was like, oh, that's weird, She was like, it fell, but it like hit my, boot and then the ground. I was like, okay. Well, we were like taking pictures of these mushrooms. We didn't throw anything at you. And then I filmed Donnie attempting to throw something because he just had shoulder surgery. And it was like the funniest little throw. I loved it so much. And it's just like, well, like he had to throw it, and I was like face deep in this tree trunk, like getting pictures of mushrooms. No, we didn't throw a rock at you. And then as soon as she finished crossing the bridge, another one came and like just missed her. And except that time, that one hit a tree at the edge of the path. And this path is like about 4 to 5 feet wide, and we have like various grades. At this time we were somewhere that was sloped, was mountainous, but it wasn't raining. This is an out and back trail, so there's nowhere where the trail intersects where someone could be like walking over us, and we start like kind of narrowing it down. But then we heard a bird, and it was like chirp 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 chirp, and it kind of sounded like an alarm. I feel like a warning of sorts. And then we were just like, huh, but we all are akin. They support the work that, we are all a part of. And so they knew. We all kind of were like, interesting. Let's keep this in our back pockets. But as we continue along the trail, we eventually get to this flat spot right along the river, and a rock flies by and hits a tree and like hits some of its bark, and it was like horizontal, like it couldn't have fallen. It's like, is it in a tree? And all of the rocks were wet. And that was really strange. But we just like kept persisting, and we went through like multiple like cute entrances where like there would be a bridge over the river with like something completely overgrowing it and an oval, and then like we would walk a path with two identical trees, and it just felt very Fae as well. Like, look at us walking through these different like portals. And so every couple of minutes, literally until we got to the waterfall, we'd pew pew, like when either one hit Donnie, like almost hit Donnie's shin and like hit the path behind him. And that was when we first started to get really like scared, because the impact, the indentation in the path was really big, and we were like, oh my gosh. And it broke the rock into pieces. And that's when we realized that the stone on the path was like black beach pebble, very rounded, and what they were throwing at us was sandstone. And so it doesn't even match the rock in the area. And I should have like wetted this, but it's like very much not round, very much not black. It has red, orange lines once you wash all the dirt off. And they were all wet. We eventually got to the suspension bridge, walked it, saw the waterfall, did that whole thing. Picked up some trash, because at this point we were like, we don't have anything as offerings. We could be past like curfew or something, if you will. Like, you know, it's sunset at this point. We're gonna barely make it back before dark. And we were like the last people there. And so, you know, the feeling was almost like, hey, it's way too late for you to be here. Like, no. And then we were like freaking out, because it's very customary to leave offerings, and we're like, we don't have anything except these amazing blueberry and cranberry tamales that we got. And so I was like, all right. On the way out, I picked like this huge calendula flower, because I was like, calendula, Oregon, almost November, this is crazy, I love it. And it was just like, I don't know what to do with this flower. And then we had the tamales, so we left them at the end of the trip. But on the way back, it picked up, and it was like anytime we turned a curve, pretty much. And we were trying to keep track of like when it had happened to us on the way, to see if it was consistent, maybe it was something environmental, and no. And then we thought once we crossed that first bridge again where it first started happening, maybe it would stop. No, it followed us all the way out. And there were a couple where it almost hit my face, and I was like wearing my rain jacket like this with my hood like that. And like it was scary seeing the indentions in the trees, in the path, like, and they were just like, they're barely missing us every single time, and it was like, it felt super intentional. I don't know, it was just yeah. And so we left the offering there at the beginning of the trail, and we're like watching the road once it got dark, and we were just like, oh my gosh. And my first instinct was like, I have to look up sightings in the area. Like, this is a very popular trail. It's super congested in the summer. We were there in the fall, blah, blah, blah. And I really wanted someone else to be there just so we could ask, like, hey, you know, have you, but I went through like the Yelp and the All Trails page, and not a single person like mentions anything weird. But I did find like one sighting on the road that takes you to the trail, but it was just like a drive-by walk, you know, across the road in 3 steps kind of deal. Yeah, okay, I'll do that actually, Jana. That's a good idea. So that is my Bigfoot story, or like Faye story, but I mean, here in this community, I think we kind of argue that those are intertwined. So. But I have 4 here. These are actually my cousin's rocks that were thrown at her, and then I collected 3 that were thrown at me, and they're all this like weird sandstone. And I gotta get like a picture of the trail. But, like, this one's really red and stuff. And some of these are from that big broken one too. So the rocks would be different sizes, and that one was like big.
So was there like, you went to a waterfall, was there like a river somewhere like next to you that you could see?
Yeah, we only passed it twice on the trail. Like at the very end, the suspension bridge, and then in the middle of the trail when you're like in the riverbeds and it's flat. But you go like down the side of this mountain and then up the side of this other one to see the waterfall. But it was really interesting because there were a couple times when we were like, we could totally chalk this up to just like a rock falling. But then once we said that out loud, they started like going vertical, like horizontal. And it would often be after like my cousin would like make a joke. And on the way up, Donnie was like, let's make a Bigfoot documentary about our trip. And I was like, no, like we just have phones. Like, no, it was a funny idea. But then I end up filming like the whole hike because like there were things being thrown at us, and it would be after moments where my cousin would be like, ha, Bigfoot documentary, and then when we were trying to like discuss other possibilities, it was just
it was like, no.
There were some points when it was like when you're on an investigation and the REM pod goes off in response to a question, and maybe you haven't set like, this for yes, this for no, whatever, but like it still feels like confirmation, to whatever you're saying. And it was like that. We were having these discussions, but what was interesting was like every single time a rock was thrown, that bird would pop off. And so, yeah, I want to see if I know I have one video, but here's another weird thing is that like for the first time on my phone, some of my stuff just isn't available from the filming.
Interesting.
And after, on the way up, Marley's phone was like fritzing, and when I was leaving and trying to like upload the stuff to Google Photos, my phone shut off and on about 20 times. And it's just like, new phone, whatever. I'll have to just post some stuff that I find or make a TikTok or something, but like I recorded the birds like freaking out at one point, and it was just like, this has been happening the whole time, but like I don't know what's missing. Pretty much. I know for sure it's some video, but I know a lot of you guys, when I take photos and things, y'all will like examine the background, so I might need some help with the video. Yeah, that happened. My last day in Oregon. I think someone was asking about the location again. So that was just outside of Lincoln City in Oregon. Yeah, and it was funny because we all had like bucket list ideas of like what we wanted to do on the trip, and Marley's was like a waterfall hike, and Donnie's was like eat at a nice restaurant. And I didn't really have one. Since we were going to be there during my birthday week and like Halloween, I was like, man, I want to do something paranormal. I want to do something haunted, spooky. And in some funny, weird way that I got my bucket list item too. But in the moment was just really scared I would get like my face smashed. It was a really bizarre feeling. And then, just the desire to not to want to be in the woods after dark anyways, Bigfoot or not. Like I was like, yeah, come on guys, we're losing light, let's go. Like we have cell phone lights, let's go. But a lot of that was just it was tired of rocks being thrown at us the whole time. It really sucked.
I would shit my pants. Like that's it.
The one place that we didn't get rocks thrown at us was once we crossed that suspension bridge. And it's interesting because you would have to like, I'll try to show at least that picture of that. You would have to hop like hundreds of feet. Like, no, once we were across the suspension bridge and we were in this little pocket of land where we could see the waterfall, there wasn't any rock throwing. So we walk across that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, once we were across there, that was the only place we didn't have the rocks really thrown at us. As you can see, like, it's, you know, a really long bridge and it's a really long way down. So I just couldn't imagine a Bigfoot being able to jump that.
Like, how deep is the, like, river? Like, how big is this?
It's like knee deep, maybe.
Okay.
And it's like, that bridge is like hundreds of feet up too. Like,
oh yeah. It's like, there's always reports of like especially like in Florida, in rivers, Bigfoot's coming out of rivers and going into rivers and like,
oh my God,
being under the water. And so, you know, I was trying to think if the stones were wet, they're probably coming, you know, maybe they came from that river, and it was in the water. So like, I don't know. That's just my first thought was like Bigfoot,
right.
like at least in Florida, you see footsteps going up to the side of the river and then like going into the water. And so
we have a map report on liminal.earth. It's aquatic Bigfoot. Someone just saw Bigfoot emerge from the ocean.
Yeah, and we talked about that where like I had a dream about a Bigfoot in the ocean.
Yeah. I know, it's crazy. So that happened, and I have the rocks, some of the rocks that were thrown at me. A lot of my footage is just gone. It's just like a corrupted file, and it was really strange. I would love help like looking back at some of this stuff, but here's a video like where I'm showing like, here's the little bridge, here's where Donnie and I were, we get mushrooms, here's where the first rock was thrown.
Oh wow.
Like that, across. And then there was one portion where I record like the tree that had just been, the rock had just been thrown and it hit like 20 leaves out of the tree. So that tree, it's hard to see through here, but I just kept filming like where they were coming from, and it was just, I didn't see anything. Like, I wanted to see something, I wanted an explanation. Looked at the trail map, nothing intersects. No one on like all trails or Yelp reporting anything where it is interesting, but then like I got this view out of it. So like, and they got to take pictures of that, so it's like and now I have a story I can tell and tell all my weird friends. Oh man. Tentacle Bigfoot. The hair is really wonderful. Did you do divination with those rocks? So I was thinking about, depending, of course, on what everyone wants to do for the live contact session. I know, I don't know if the guys are watching just yet, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to just try to contact them, maybe with the rocks, hold the rocks, see what we can pick up under Estes. Definitely divination with the rocks. Which trail was it, Janet? It was the Drift Creek Trail. And I think, let me see if I still have the page pulled up here. I think I sent it to my cousin here. Drift Creek for sure. I don't know. It's just outside of Lincoln City. Bigfoot could swim so fast. I don't want to think about that.
I don't want to think about that either.
He was so right, though.
I'm going to dream about like Bigfoot just swimming real fast.
Oh my gosh.
What, Maestro?
I want to aliens and Bigfoot writing. Yes, guy. Yeah. Poof. It was a really strange experience, and it's been a while since I've had one of those. I think the last time I had like a paranormal type of experience like that was when the guys and I investigated Walker Ames' house in Washington, and we had some absolutely wild Estes, and we had like multiple people going under, and like the conversation, it was just incredible. And yeah. So this is exciting. This is a little scary. Yeah, I have a experience now where something that I believe to be Bigfoot threw rocks at me for a long time.
Something with hands threw rocks at you, and that's enough.
And we were like the last ones in the parking lot. Like we went at a really late time, so I and like the trail doesn't like, you know, get close enough for someone to like throw, or like, you know, the footsteps knock them over. Yeah. There's a lot of theories, you know, that go through your mind when you talk Bigfoot, especially within our little realm of the internet. You know, I'm thinking about like the intersection of Fae. I think about, you know, how people are like physical Bigfoot versus like ethereal spiritual Bigfoot, and I want to be like the taco girl that's like, why not both? You know, so there could be all kinds of things going on. But yeah, it was really interesting. And then I watched Unsolved Mysteries with my family, and like my grandmother and my aunt, and it was the Navajo Ranger episode. It was really good, and it's not normally something that they would like want to watch, but they loved the original show, and so I was like, oh, okay, well, they just remade it. Here, watch it. But I picked obviously the paranormal episode. But then, you know, it led to them being like, oh, by the way, we saw UFOs when we were kids, and your dad sees it. Your dad was there and saw it, and like that's why he doesn't like talking about any of the stuff that you talk about on your show. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And it was in like the Ohio River Valley of Indiana, and in the middle of the day, and there were like 8 or 9 witnesses, and it was just a series of strange lights and like dark objects just moving through the sky really wildly. And I have them like recorded saying that. And I'm just like, I feel so fulfilled, because for the longest time, you know, such a sore topic, these things that I love to talk about were sore to some people, and it's just so I wish it didn't have to be that way. And this was a weekend when I got to have, you know, a real conversation about stuff that I care about, and then hear, you know, that some of the people closest to me have had experiences. So in the areas I grew up. So cool. And they were telling me that it wasn't necessarily like a scary experience. Like they all, you know, we hear that time and time again with these reports, is like it's kind of a bonding experience of sorts for them. Except like, you know, my dad was the youngest. He was a really young kid, and he had the bejesus scared out of him. And now everything makes sense. Like he lives on one of the most like active islands in Southeast Alaska. Like I am friends with a lot of people I used to work with there, and some of the folks I worked with were Haida tribal members, and they had so many stories, and their lore like encompassed all of these beings and this life force and this energy, and it's really beautiful. But then my dad, who has minds in all of these hotspots, claims he sees nothing. He doesn't want to talk about it, shuts it down, and I'm just like, oh, that's a fear response. Okay. I thought he was just being a dick.
Interesting.
But like, I understand now. Anyways, that's what I did on my trip. And then I bought like a bunch of like witchy stuff from a hag.
Oh my god. Literally, this just sounds like the best kind of adventure, like in all the memorable ways.
Oh yeah. I love having the conversations that last 30 minutes of like, is this a seal or a sea lion? And we're like, I don't know. Those are fantastic.
Oh my god.
And I love the angry ocean. All that rage. It's so good.
Those pictures were so beautiful. I was just like sitting there like swooning.
I photographed so much, and I guess for some reason I was like, oh, I'm gonna try like new cameras and new film on this trip. And so I only packed like 5 rolls of 35 millimeter, which is insane. I went through it in like a couple days. And then the whole rest of the trip I had to use like these 2 cameras that I have not tested. And so I'm just like, please turn out. And it's new types of film that I'm experimenting with so I can offer it with Mystic. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like 110 is like this thing. And then the 120 is like this thing. And it's gonna be fun to do. I'm a bit rusty on those older ones, but yes. Oh, I have the things. I collected some sand from the I loved the Black Beach so much. I wanted to just live there.
God, it'd be so pretty. We should go back, even though like I would probably pee myself. I want to go back.
Yeah. Definitely. Guys. Look at these beeswax candles.
Those are incredible.
These were $6 for these two, and they're huge. And they're beeswax dipped, so they put like a washer or like some weight, and then they dip it over and over again. Crazy. I would pay $10 for like one. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a good trip. So Bex is thriving.
It was a family trip, you know, so there are some fun things.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Just like the herbs I got. Yeah, super, super cool. I got like some rocks I need to actually show Jess. But, we went to like the antique stores, of course, too, and I got 2 cameras.
Oh, perfect.
This one has film in it, so I get to do my whole like sound footage thing that I love. So this is Amazonite. Jess is help figuring out what these are, but it's like really pretty. So pretty. And then I have obsidian.
Oh, that's really pretty.
And then I have sodalite.
Yes. So I really like sodalite.
Me too. So pretty. And then I got black tourmaline. It's like just necessary.
It is.
And that's all I got. But I developed all of the 35 millimeter rolls from the vacation today, so I'll post those once I get this scanned in. Oh yeah, I just wanted to thank everybody who ordered prints of the static cat. That was like really cool that so many people wanted them.
Yeah, I just got mine, and I need to get a little frame for it before I like, take a picture. But it's sitting on my bookshelf right there. I can see.
Oh, Adler sent me a birthday card. It's so cute. I got it, and it has a dog on it. It's so cute. It has a ranger on it.
It has ranger. I was gonna find, some like cute card that, and then I saw that. I was like, ranger.
I love it so much.
It was like, it's too late, but like also.
I wasn't here. So like
fair.
Oh, I also wanted to shout out Derby City Midnight. They are based out of Louisville, and they make spooky zines. And they, while I was gone, also sent me a couple zines. So I wanted to shout them out because they're doing great work, and yeah, they're local, so that's cool. I was in like the spooky, Puget Sound scene. Now I gotta get back into like the Louisville scene here, and it's really exciting. So they sent me those. I'll read those, post those. But yeah, super cool. Yeah, and I'm thinking about maybe offering some of the trip photos for sale, or maybe making coffee table books or something like that. So
I'd suggest the ocean pics, but
yeah, the ocean pics are good. Okay, so we have to like talk about something. So today's WUFO, yay, but it's also Injured Cold Day.
It is Injured Cold Day.
So I would love if you wanted to tell the folks who maybe don't know about Injured Cold the Injured Cold story.
Injured Cold. Well, see, my brain's dead, so I forget all of like the year, like exactly what year it was.
Google exists.
Google does exist. It does. Injured Cold. So Injured Cold. Oh God, my phone is like, what are you looking up? No. No. What?
Okay, I have like a bunch of tweets I like that could give us information, but
yeah. So I just forget the year, but so Woodrow Derenberger was a sewing machine salesman, and he would drive around in West Virginia, kind of in that area, and do his sales. Was it 66? It was late 60s, and he was driving towards Parkersburg one night, coming back home from work. He was in his car, and suddenly, I think there was another car in front of him, but it doesn't super matter. A big floating spaceship came down out of the sky and blocked the road, essentially. And so he had to stop. So he pulled over. He was on this highway, and you could see the city in the background and stuff. And the ship stopped him. And he said that a man approached him, and he had his window up, and he heard this man talk to him in his head. So not vocally, but in his head, to like roll the window down. So he rolled the window down, and I think the whole conversation took place not vocally, but in their mind. But Indrid, he said, like, they call me, like, you don't need to be afraid. Like, I come here like very peacefully and all this kind of stuff. And he said that his name was Indrid. And he was asking Woody about the city and sort of just asking very general questions. And I think when he left, he's like, we will see you again. It's like, I'll see you again. And so Woody ended up driving back home and everything. And the visitations kept happening. And I think on one of the, like, I don't know if it was the second time or whatever, he gave his full name as Injured Cold. And so it wasn't the first time that they met that he said he was Injured Cold, but later he said that his full name was Injured Cold. And he apparently visited Woody and the Derenberger family like multiple times over a long period of time. And the media was going crazy because Woody, he told the media, they'd show up at their house and on their lawn. And I think it was one of these times, like, the media was there and Indrid actually showed up and was talking to Woody.
Oh my God.
Like, I read that he actually, like, they were talking on the porch or something. It was like all these people. But yeah, they visited each other, and I forget exactly like the message that Indrid was like trying to get across to Woody, but there were a lot of Men in Black incidents after that in the local area. People seeing really strange people, that don't quite look right, in funny shoes, driving weird cars, that don't really know how things work. So a lot of Men in Black after that. But Indrid was this guy, the cold that came down in the rain, if you read the Mothman prophecies, just came down and talked to this guy on the side of the road. Apparently took him up in his spaceship too, took him out into space and all kinds of crazy shit. So we stand Indrid, and now he's known as the Grinning Man, this sort of evil archetype. But Woody's Indrid was not an evil man. He was just this friendly alien dude.
Yeah.
So
I wonder why Indrid was like, you, Woody. You.
Who knows? He's just like, this car.
And he's like, I really like the way you put this officials on the ghost side. Capture the bouquet. He definitely quoted Rocky Horror to Woody. Anyways. Never mind. Oh my gosh, just every time we hear that story, yeah, and if you're online today, I'm seeing all kinds of people post about it. And yeah,
it's amazing. Like, I remember I drove up that highway, and when I got to the point where, like, you know, like Woody saw Indrid, I was just like, oh my God. Like, so this is the spot.
What, like, how, like, or where to, like, whereabouts?
So it was when, like, I was driving, I'm gonna forget now, but when I was driving north, like out of West Virginia, you know, going up to Parkersburg, and continuing on, like, it's a major, like, you have to go on that highway as you're going north out of there from Mothman's Ass. If you take Mothman's Ass and you get on the highway and you go north, you will run into Parkersburg. So yeah, it was really awesome. But that was like the first story I heard when I was a small bean, and so that's the story that made me a weirdo. So I love it.
Do you know what mine was? Dogman.
That makes sense.
And it was at church camp. We were by the fire, and you know, they were telling these crazy stories, and I was scared to death.
Yeah.
And then when I first started reporting for like UFO and Night Drift, I had like a really strange series of like Dogman reports find me, and I just became the person who looked into Dogman stuff up there for a while, and it was just like, of course, of course, this is like my introduction to the world.
You know, Dogman. I think I prefer Mothman personally.
Mothman is 100. What is it? 50% moth, 50% man, 100% boyfriend material.
Correct.
Dogman
Mothman is, you know, I can't call dibs on that ass, but I would if I could. Like, Mothman is the love of my life.
Girl.
I just want to go back to the TNT domes, and you know, I need him to call me back. You know what I mean?
I saw a tweet on Twitter of all places, and it was like, Halloween's a fucking wild night to get ghosted. I was just like, oh shit. How fucking sad.
That hurt me on a spiritual level.
I don't know. You know, I think that we can, through more research, through more witness reports, maybe we can take the perception of Dogman from bad to neutral. I agree, Shanna. Like, I think that the stories are really interesting, but there's definitely oftentimes like a scary element to it, and I guess that could be said, you know, depending on who you ask about, you know, regular paranormal experiences. Bigfoot obviously was throwing rocks at me, and I still am like finding fault within myself, you know, like, oh, I was there too late, you know, I don't think that that's just like malice and evil. And I feel the same way about Dogman. I don't think that Dogman is just naturally inherently negative and bad, but I do think that Dogman often scare people so badly that there's, to us in human form, no other way to interpret that. So
yeah, to me, like, Bigfoot and Dogman is very much like when people are just like afraid of spiders. Like, there's not really a reason, and some of them are really like pretty and cute, but like Bigfoot and Dogman, that's the reaction I have. It's like, I think they're great, but if I saw one, I'm gone. Like, goodbye. That's it.
oh my gosh.
Yes, Otis knows what's up.
100%. I can't stop thinking about just like Bigfoot emerging from water now.
Oh my God. Like I told you, that's like a recurring dream I've had, is Bigfoot coming out of water, and I hate it so much.
Oh my gosh. Slightly on topic. Wildlife, creepy, paranormal, like same topic, just switching from Bigfoot. Okay. So you remember when you were here and we were talking about like some of our earlier paranormal experiences now, like they lined up? I found the notes from them, and we like both saw, you know, like Black Panthers, and like yours was yours in a dream, dream, and then mine was like at my childhood farm when I was a kid. And then I found out that Marley, my cousin, has seen one in Marengo, Kentucky, and then or Marengo, Indiana. And then I met someone who had trail cam footage of one in Indiana. And so I am just kind of getting like reignited about that a bit, reading those notes over. And I thought it was just so interesting how that overlapped for us in a couple ways. And then after we talked about it, like a couple people I know were like, oh, randomly brought it up. It was like, oh, you know. And so I'm just I'm thinking about, you know, Dogman, Bigfoot, these woodland creatures, and I have to like also talk about like the Black Panther in that context because of like how we've interacted and the nature of it and it not existing and that whole thing. So but for me it was like in the big tree outside of my like childhood bedroom, and it was just sitting there looking at me as I was getting ready for school. And then I remember hearing like the noise of a baby crying or like a woman screaming. It kept like alternating. And I remember calling my dad and he could hear it in the background. I was like, what is that? And I was like, well, I'm calling into school today. Like, I'm not leaving this house. But I saw that and then I fell back asleep and I woke up and it was gone. But that it was such a strange experience, and I didn't think too much about it. I just was like, oh, it's, you know, it's a big cat. We have, you know, cougars and stuff. So
yeah.
And then, you know, once I started exploring outside of like the realms of traditional paranormal there when I was writing my column for the newspaper and when I was doing stuff back in the day. When I encountered that man who had the trail cam footage, and he described like similar feelings that I had of like, it was just different. It didn't seem like a wild animal, and it was just like really interested and like looking at me in my eye and made these really strange noises. And yeah, it's just something that I think I want to look into a little more. So if you guys know anyone with a Black Panther story around the Midwest,
goodness, absolutely support that. Also, though, if I hear a baby crying in the woods, gone.
I know, right?
Peace out. Like, absolutely not. I heard that once on my college campus. It was probably a raccoon. Let me tell you, I don't run. I ran. It was probably a raccoon.
Yes.
Like everyone's like, it's a baby, I'm gonna go save it. It's like, no, okay, logically, I would know that, and I would want to save said baby lost in the woods. I would simply call someone else to do it.
So I found out that there are certain animals that will just straight up mimic voices like that to attract people, whether it's for food or what have you. They will mimic the sounds of other animals, of children, and it's like more everyday animals than you think. So that's definitely something. But I saw it outside my window and it was all black.
Yeah, like seeing it is like, and
it was just following me. It was like,
absolutely not.
It was like, what if they through this window?
I would move. I don't know what I'd say. I would have to be like helicopter lifted out of that house and then move.
So what were your, like, what happened in your dreams around them?
Like the Black Panther?
Yeah.
It was usually, because it was like a repeat, like nightmares, like a kid. And for a while, it was just the eyes. Like just, I knew it was a black cat and like a, you know, mountain lion. And because I was in Colorado too, so like I was used to having big cats around too. But it was mostly like the big glowing eyes. And then I would have this dream where I hated it. So in our house, we had like a loft. And so it was like open. It was this open loft. It was on the second story. and it was like my bed and my brother's bed, and my bed lined up with this like hallway, and down at the end was my parents' room, and their door would always be open. And in this dream, it would happen over and over again. This huge ass, like abnormally large Black Panther, like not like spots or anything, like a giant black cat, would come out of their bedroom, and it would just like dead ass just not break eye contact with me, and it would basically just come up and like, you know, murder me in my bed. And so it was like real scary. They're the only dreams that like I've actually died in are these Black Panther dreams, and I'm not a fan.
And you were in your bedroom in the dreams?
Yeah.
Okay. I was in the bedroom in real life. Interesting. We will continue to look at these parallels, and if y'all have any stories, send them my way. I see CJ's story there too. We'll have to talk about the location of that. Awesome. Well, we are at the end here of week 42 of the WUFO East Coast show. We brought you, you know, travel stories. We brought you, you know, Bigfoot story that was real interesting to go through. We brought you stoichiometry. We brought you a couple different songs that will probably be in your head now. Yeah, you know, we did some stuff. But now what we're going to do is take a 5-ish minute break. I'll play a little video for you guys. And then when we all pop back on, we'll be having Garrett and Jeremy join us, the West Coast crew. And we'll do, you know, 30, 45-minute live contact session. We'll see what the guys want to do, but it would be really fun to hold these rocks and try to see what this Bigfoot we're up to. All right. We will be right back. Let me see if I can do this.
Howdy.
What's up, Jeremy?
Oh, you know, I'm still sporting my Bob Belcher mustache from Halloween.
Yes, very good.
Okay. Oh my gosh, in my mouth. I'm eating black icing.
Black icing. Wow. What's its flavor?
Buttercream.
No, okay, fair enough.
Vanilla buttercream. It's leftover birthday cookie cake, and I put it in the fridge right before I went to Oregon. And like on the car ride back after like 25 hours of traveling, I was like, cookie cake for something for effect. What was that?
Yes. That's funny.
I didn't know it made my mouth.
I just had some black licorice. I was worried my tongue would be black, but it's not. So that's good.
I think I like threw my phone, but it's gone.
Where do we all fall on the licorice spectrum?
Ooh, good question. I'll find my phone first, and then I'll tell
opposite
you.
End of black licorice. Very opposite end of black licorice.
Yeah. But what about like the European salty black licorice? Have you ever tried that?
I will not. My boss is German, my advisor, and he loves black licorice so much. And he talks about the Haribo store in Germany where you can go and get individual colors of things. And he's like, I just want the black licorice everything.
Yes.
So like whenever anybody goes to Europe and comes back, they bring him just black licorice. And he's like, do you want some? And I'm like, no. And he's like, good. He like hides it in his desk. And it's like, bro, none of us want to eat that.
What for me then?
Yeah. When we the first time we flew into Italy, we had a layover in, I think it was Copenhagen. And in the airport there, they have like a black licorice store, or they did at the time. I mean, it was years ago, and like, even though I knew I would have to carry it throughout Italy, I walked out of there with like 5 pounds.
He talks about that exact store.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow.
So good. Well, because they have like the salty kind and the spicy kind. And...
Yeah.
He literally doesn't ever stop talking about that place.
You're like, all right. Will I get my PhD faster if I listen to this?
Right?
Right.
I would love to try the spicy. I like the salty. I don't like the regular. There's one like Australian brand that we carried in my video store in Alaska. And it was okay. But I definitely love like sweet red licorice a lot.
Oh, okay. Like Twizzlers, Red Vines, that kind of thing.
All of them. I love it. But it's, I mean, very rare that I would turn down most candy. So I don't know how much that really advocates for red licorice. But I would definitely try the spicy black, and I do like the salty.
Sarah was saying she is having a Sour Patch Kids lollipop that came with dipping powder. What? That sounds lovely. Sour stuff is like...
Yes.
I love it.
I think we had a conversation once about like our favorite flavor profiles. We were like opposites.
That's right, yes.
I would love to hear like Adler's favorite, because mine are like umami, like salty. And then I like artificially sweet, like really artificial candy, just, like horrible. And then I like spicy. Those are my 3 ones. What are yours, Jeremy? Just as a refresher.
Oh, totally. Like hardcore sour. Like I have a bag of citric acid in my pantry that I use when I'm cooking stuff sour, like to make syrups and stuff. That I just, I added to like soda water and whatnot. Oh, Kai's had some of my like sour syrup from Oregon grape that I made. Oregon grape berry. It's so good. Like I love the Sour Patch stuff, but Sour Patch Kids are no longer sour enough for me. So what are you gonna do? Yeah, but then like umami, like there's something about the combination of like smokiness and like unctuous like fattiness, I mean, it's what makes bacon good, like that sort of fatty smoky combo. That's another good one. But I'm not as into, like, people are always like, oh, you must love bacon, and they give me like bacon gifts and stuff, and I'm like, no, I'd rather have like just a nice, like slow roasted pork belly or something like that. That would
bacon
like,
gifts.
Umami for me.
What are some of these bacon gifts that you've received in the past?
Oh, like, bacon shirts, like bacon boxers. I love bacon, that kind of stuff.
I was wondering if it was like bacon merchandise or like strips of bacon. Oh well, we can't stop with that because we gotta refrigerate Jeremy's gift. Like we can't.
I was thinking strips of bacon.
I know. I was like, who gifts? Do people gift? I guess people gift like salami and stuff. So.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Hi, salami.
Bacon, I'm just like picturing like wrapping paper that's like soaked through with little oil, like grease. Like just an individually wrapped piece of bacon and wrapping paper.
That's what you're gonna get. That's what I'll give you.
Is that what everybody? That's it. Individually wrapped pieces of bacon.
I'm gonna mail you a strip of bacon with no wrap, just in like an envelope, and just.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be a really great way to treat the postal staff during the holidays.
Yeah, right.
Okay, I'll put it in a plastic envelope.
Plastic. Okay.
With the I Heart Cops stamp.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
What if I just send it to all the police stations? Anyway, am I gonna get arrested?
You're gonna be fine. We're all gonna be just fine.
Yeah.
So Adler and I talked, during the show. I shared my Bigfoot story. I shared with you, Jeremy, in message, but we can share with everyone. For the live session, Garrett's gonna be a little bit late. He's doing dad duties.
Mm-hmm.
But when and if he does pop in, that'll be exciting and fun because I don't think he'll know what we're up to, unless I guess you read the thread.
Well, I guess that's true. Yeah.
Oops, but like so. We think it would be fun to have me like hold the Bigfoot rocks and go under for an Estes method session, have Jeremy pull cards, have y'all ask questions in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into this. Let's see if that was, some territorial aggression, if that was target practice,
So I didn't listen. I didn't hear any of I didn't get a chance to tune in earlier. Was there more to it? Like, did you ever actually see an entity, or was it just rocks?
It was rocks, but it escalated. It continued to happen in flat areas.
Really?
It would make impacts in the bark and the trees. They would barely miss us every single time with like precision, and then a couple of the times there were big rocks that broke and left huge imprints in the path. It was rock.
Awesome.
And so awesome, but
yes, I mean scary. I'm glad you're okay.
It was really awesome though, like for us. But then there's also like, duality. We can have multiple feelings. Like there's also that part of me that like had my jacket and was like, please don't hit my face. Yeah. Why are you doing, what it felt like was like we were the last ones on the trail and we were there like trying to like we were gonna hike in the dark if we didn't hustle kind of deal. And so it kind of felt like no one's here this late. Why are you here? Like get out. Right. And the most interesting thing to me was every time a rock was thrown, it would like almost match the conversation to some point. Like we would talk about like making a Bigfoot documentary from this and like, oh, is it this or that? And it would, and it was pointed, but then there would always be the same bird that would just be like squalling, wow, 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 every time a rock was thrown. So
can you tell what kind of rocks they were?
So what's interesting is it was sandstone, like layered sandstone that was being thrown at us, but the path rock was rounded like black beach stones. And so, and like all the stones were wet and like it hadn't rained that day. The trail like didn't intersect at any point. So it wasn't like walking, crumbles or anything. And I highly doubt someone was in the woods that late, without a car, all the way up there. It's pretty remote. So let's try to talk to them.
Yeah, let's do it.
An object from it, which is, pretty interesting and rare, but I got couple these were thrown at my cousin, and then I have some that were thrown directly at me. But we didn't recover all of them. Some of them, fell into the other side of the woods. But
none of them had your name on them, did they?
Ooh,
that would be freaky.
No, it was hard to make sense of it once it became frequent, and once we were like in the riverbed, and there was nowhere for something to just have gravity and like that natural decline, like flat land. And it was making impacts on the things that hit. It was really wild.
Oh, that's wild. You'll have to we're going there for the week of Thanksgiving, to the same area, so you'll have to let me know where that was.
Of course. I shared it with everyone too, but I'll just text you like the All Trails listing.
Yeah.
But there's like I looked through the reviews and the comments and everything, and like no one had mentioned anything like that. And I found like a Bigfoot report, just on the internet from like that general vicinity, like that road, but not, trails. So, interesting, but
very
interesting. They could be the perfect subject for our contact session tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's UFO adjacent.
So,
I got
do you want to? Are you going to use the Tenny sounds?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have the spirit box anymore.
No, that's right. That's right. Yeah, because Garrett has your spirit box.
I was just being really dramatic. It was like, I don't need it. And that's true. Like, I'll use the carrier waves, but I'm sure I could have like an app or something if I needed one. Like, there has to be. Yeah, would love to go under. Would love to have like these objects, see what I find. But I'm welcoming. I know that you want to work on your card reading. So that would be really fun, especially after I'm under. I wouldn't have those cards to influence me.
Mm-hmm.
And then Adler, of course, whatever you want to do, everyone in the comments, whatever y'all want to do. You guys make art, you ask questions, group effort here.
That sounds awesome.
Okay, cool.
What, real quick, did y'all do anything for Halloween? Oh, you were in the airport the whole time, weren't you, Bex?
From 1 a.m. to 1 a.m.
Oh my God.
That sounds miserable.
I saw some people in costumes and it was really nice, but I was just like, where do you get the spoons?
Seriously.
I couldn't do it. But I was the airport time slip from the map, and
I like it.
Was just lost and delirious and just wanted to be home. I'd rather drive places.
We have a winner for our contest, by the way.
Oh yeah, you want to make that announcement here or however you want?
We can wait until after the contact session and let people be on tenterhooks. Is that right?
Okay.
Is that right?
I don't know.
No idea.
Tenterhooks? I don't know.
Tender hooks. Sure. We can make it a thing.
That's fine.
Yes. Okay, so do you want to do 9 minutes, 18 minutes?
Let's do 18. More of a chance for Garrett to show up.
Awesome. I love the idea of him just like popping in during, because chances are he hasn't read the thread.
Right.
He's driving home. I hope not. So, all right.
Tenterhooks.
Tenterhooks.
I wonder what actual tenterhooks were.
I know, right? I was thinking about like Tinder, the like a dating app.
And you're hooked.
Most people would trap you. Okay, I'm pulling up the sounds now here, and I'll go for 2 rounds, 18 minutes. Of course, okay, perfect. Okay, well, I will hook up my headphones to this, and then I will have to turn y'all down. So I'll see you in 18-ish minutes.
Sounds good. Wood racks used for making wool. What was that? Is that oh, okay. All right. Did you have a good Halloween, Adler? Did you do anything?
I was at work in the lab.
Oh gosh.
But my lab, I'm one of the only Americans, and apparently Halloween's not very big in Germany or Brazil. So I wore like skeleton pajamas, and I brought in my Ouija board and tarot decks and muffins shaped like brains. And I put candy outside our lab door and told all the grad students to go trick-or-treating. So we put spider webs up all over the lab. So
that's awesome. That sounds great.
I made it a very big deal.
We went trick-or-treating in the rich neighborhood.
Ooh.
They have the full-size candy bars, and they close all the streets. Yeah.
What was the best candy? What was the best one?
The best candy? I don't know. Like, he really likes chocolate, so I think just like the full-size, like Butterfingers and Snickers and stuff. That was definitely the best.
Love that. I want to be that house one day.
I know, but we don't get trick-or-treaters here on our street. It's too dark and quiet, so.
We don't get any either. We love candy out at our apartment, but no.
All right, it looks like Bex is starting. So if you're just tuning in, I wonder how much Garrett knows. We should ask Garrett how much he knows about what we're doing. Oh, but he's eating pickles in coffee again or something, so.
Pickles in coffee.
He just noticed.
Hi there.
Hey, Garrett.
I feel a little delayed. I'm trying to fix that. Hold on.
Yeah, a little bit, but that's okay.
Gone fishing.
So if you're just tuning in, we are trying to talk to
with a cat's hook.
Bex was recently on a hiking trip, and had stones thrown at her with great velocity from the woods. Couldn't tell what was throwing them. She is currently holding those stones and doing an Estes session to see if we can talk to or get in touch with whatever was involved in that scene. So if you're if you're watching along, you're welcome to do art or ask questions or anything that you like. And I'm going to pull cards.
Saving for something.
Who was throwing the stones?
Did you hear? Them shoes. White shoes. The same energy.
Yeah, this guy.
We'll save that for later.
Why were you trying to get Bex's attention?
A transition.
That was the ace of coins, by the way, if anybody was curious.
Look backward. Now.
Or knight of coins. Still learning this deck.
That doesn't intimidate. $63 years. A jersey.
So Bex is using sounds that were, I don't know,
in the restroom.
Created by John Neil
And
Tenney.
a mattress.
And they're an attempt to create like audio
same energy.
Pareidolia, however you say it.
Will sustain. With magic.
You can listen to the sounds there at that link. WUFO watch carrier wave.
What will sustain with magic?
Showing me something. In chairs.
That's 2 Knight of Coins and 2 Temperances.
Extremely favorite.
I'm gonna pull another card. Oh, that's weird. I pulled it again.
So what's that card mean? What's the significance?
It's like outward it's like outward exploration activity
with gusto.
It could be like hiking or like a hiker. Material.
No ambush here.
Coins are earth.
It looks like a stone too.
It looks like a stone, yeah.
A shirt. Wasn't.
So Janet pulls the 6 of swords and I pulled the 7 of swords.
Earthly.
Did you say earthly?
Earthly.
And I pulled the ace of coins.
7.
Coins and swords. And temperance, apparently.
Shells.
Yeah, Knight of Coins right there.
She just said 7 after I said 7 of swords, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all of the cards I'm pulling, I would just keep pulling, and they're all coins.
Wow.
This is a pretty well shuffled deck. And the 10 of Cups, so I don't know.
Listened to you.
Were you listening?
Interfered.
Bex on the trail?
The shallow end.
The shallow end? Remind me to come back to that. Shallow end.
I'm getting this visual image. I'll have to like scribble it down after, but I'm seeing like a being that's similar to a Bigfoot, but it's almost like it's almost like they have a mask made of feathers over it, or feather faces, but there's like a masking element. Some of the masks are colorful, but they're all made of feathers. I gotta start the time for the second one. Okay.
6 of Swords.
Is that multiple for that one, or?
Yeah, and it's another 6 of Swords. 3 8s in a row.
Excuse. A biscuit.
It's always got to be food.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
So biscuits next week. Got it.
Falling. A shoe case. Hydro.
What did you mean by the shallow end?
I am home.
Biscuits with honey sauce.
What's in the deep end?
Traditional.
She say traditional?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Surely a dozen.
Biscuits?
Not embarrassing.
You can ask for that. It's okay. Baker's dozen.
The hair's down.
Bigfoot's hair?
Did you get 6 of Swords? Is that what
true?
Yeah.
That's what I just pulled too.
Really?
Yeah.
6 of Swords. Whew.
No surf. Here.
No surf here.
Little one. Painted glove. Or jersey. A specialty. How to resist. She's real.
Why were you
Nice
throwing?
with her?
Why were you throwing those stones at Bex?
Chase.
Were you trying to chase her?
The pressure. Sheltered. The system. A magic man.
Ooh.
Who's the magic man? I want to know about that.
Who
Are we
is
talking-
this man?
Are we
Yeah, who
talking
is-
to Bigfoot or the rock itself? Like, is it talking about Magic Man? Like the Bigfoot picked it up?
Or is it Magic Man from the Adventure Time
He's
show?
amazing.
He's amazing.
He's amazing.
Like the pressure, the system. I just keep thinking of like a river. It's like, are we talking to the rock?
Yeah, I was thinking that too with the pressure. Like, are they trying to communicate?
Such a pearl.
Pearl's created under pressure, right?
Yeah.
It's like concepts that don't really translate well to like human.
Sashimi.
Sashimi.
Upside down. Used to be more
Like a bigger rock.
Used to be more
Part of the
sashimi, like fish.
Oh,
Used
just
to be more salmon. Like, how close were they to the Columbia?
insurance.
it said its home is the shallow end.
Yeah.
The rock would think that.
Yeah, that's
The
weird.
dance inspection.
The dance inspection.
So if we're talking to the rock, then can the rock tell us who threw it, who moved it?
Too many.
Too many.
probably got moved a lot.
Yeah.
Who moved it last?
Weird.
Yeah.
Voice the center.
You
The
know what's
rest
interesting?
of one.
I'll do it after.
Enchanted with Jasmine.
What are you called?
Wasn't here.
Bigfoot wants to.
A slumber.
The Columbia doesn't run there. Yeah,
Revel on.
but there would still be salmon or fish, you know.
Turn this thing around. Shots. Welcome the fruits.
Seasons, you know, like the shots, like hunting season, and then the fruits, like spring. Like it feels like it's watching the whole area. Because if it's a rock, it's really old, no matter
Right.
what rock.
But if it's a sandstone, it wouldn't be in the water, I don't think. I think those tend to get just eroded by water.
Mm-hmm.
Willow's playing with the bag of rocks.
Is that what it was? That was awesome.
I was wondering what that was. It freaked me out. It's like something on the ground.
Yeah, because I think sandstone would erode in a stream or something.
It would.
Find the center. Oh, it ended. Okay. Willow. Honey, you can't knock over that camera. That would really suck. Please don't do that. Hi? Okay. Disconnect this.
How you feeling?
Okay, I'm turning it up now. Hello. I'm back.
Whoa. Oops. That's an awesome idea.
Here's the rocks again.
I think
So
all that Bex needs to do to complete the initiation is to do a Bigfoot call.
Oh my gosh. I mentioned that in the videos I was filming. I was like, I want to do my call, but I don't. I don't want to like get a response, I think is what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
Well, that one day I was brave because you were with me.
I just wish you would have told me before you did it. You were doing it because you scared the crap out of me.
I know. I should have. I was just so caught up.
Actually, to complete the initiation, I think she should throw those rocks at somebody.
At that man who was drunk. Bex, go find him on his cart.
I've done some things.
It's kind of like Santa Claus and passing the baton a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
Like falling off the roof.
Yes, like the Santa Claus, the Tim Allen movie. Yes, right.
Awesome. Oh my gosh.
Were we talking about that with Dash?
The movie did come up. Yeah.
Yeah, the movie Santa Claus. Yeah.
Yes, it did. Yes.
So,
that was so funny. That whole
a shout out to Dash.
conversation. I hope people go back and watch it.
Yes.
So
Whatever we go. And the willow, like I felt like this thumping, and it felt like a thumping that like someone would like stomp to get your attention, like if there was something going on and they knew I couldn't hear them. And it was Willow like playing with a bag of rocks, and this is heavy. You're like pushing it around and picking it up, and I was like, why? So
Wow.
it's that, but he knocked me out, like, because when I went back under, I heard one more thing, and then it was over. So
yeah,
almost good timing.
We had a feeling that we were talking to the Rock. The Rock.
The rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like reading about the sandstones, and it says that at the earliest stage of them like being formed, it takes place in shallow depths.
Okay.
wow.
So you said like your home is at the shallow end.
Oh, I never remember.
And it's all about pressure. It's all about pressure, under the pressure.
Oh.
So a couple of other things too, because I remember when she said shallow end, I was like, what? We got a submit. Did you see the submission from today to the map, Garrett?
No, I haven't seen it. No.
We got a submission to the map today. And I won't read the whole thing or anything, but it's about like a weird, eerie, spooky feeling in the deep end of a pool.
Ooh.
Specifically the deep end. And the pool is in Tukwila, right near the Black River riparian area.
Oh, and the Screaming Well and the mystery oranges. And
right. And it says deep end, like specifically like deep end, and I was like, so when I heard shallow end, I was like, that's weird, because I was just reading it and thinking about where would the weird feeling end in the pool? Like,
Right.
Wow. Is that the Tukwila Community Center there?
It's the Tukwila pool, yeah.
I think we gotta go. Investigate.
I think so too.
Do some cannonballs for science. Sounds fun.
You gotta bring your floaties for your paranormal
friends. By the wings, like the
what you do is like you put them on the edge of the pool, and you're like, all right, beings, if you want to come hang out, like just put on your floaties, be safe.
The other interesting thing was we kept getting the Six of Swords. Swords came up a lot, and coins came, and we also got like, what was it, the Knight of Coins,
and the Ace of
the Ace of Coins, yeah. But I was just looking at because I'm learning a new deck that is nothing like the Rider-Waite-Smith deck.
Okay.
But on the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it's actually like a river. Somebody's like pulling down a river across the water. Oh, does yours do that too? Oh, look at that. I couldn't tell when you showed it earlier.
Wow.
So there's the water again.
Yeah.
And it means like my interpretation of it is it means like you want to take a journey, but like you need to get all like everything in order first, but it's like checking for your passport and checking for tickets and like that kind of stuff. So you have to get your ducks in a row before you can leave on your journey.
Okay. Interesting.
Other interpretations may vary.
Oh man, that was really fun. I like doing Estes. I like holding objects. That was really cool.
Yeah, did you have any feeling in your hand, any sensations or anything? What?
I think my hands were just warming them up. I could feel like they were cold at first, and then I could feel the warmth of my hands warming them up, and that was fun to know the changes over time with that. Mm-hmm. But when I was under, I just tried to like picture myself, I guess, just like remote view out there. Like mm-hmm. There were a couple of places that seemed like portal-y or like meeting place-y, and so I like sat in one of those areas and just pictured them coming and talking to me. And that's when I saw them with like the feather masks coming out, and I got the impression like, not yet, I'm still like behind this layer or this shield. I don't know, but I had a hard time like staying there. Yeah, I got like random stuff too, so it was just kind of hard for my Estes brain to focus, maybe, or just not as strong. I don't know, but
I feel like if it was like, this could be bullshit, but if it was like the rock, then that moment is like nothing for it. So it would be hard for you to focus holding that rock because it's just like, it's so old. It'd be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, seriously.
It's more like, the seasons. It talked about like stuff that sounded like the seasons changing and maybe the river flowing. And it's like, that's more like over a long period of time. If it was the rock, it'd be like, oh yeah, this happened instead of that one little day.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I don't know.
I should have asked it about Acho.
Oh yeah.
Acho is like the rock spirit from Quatrian lore in the Oracle of the Hypogeum, and it's the so like the myth says that Acho is like this boulder or something, and the very first thing that Anthor the deer spirit did when he came out of the Hypogeum, and this must sound totally nuts to everybody. Never heard any of this stuff before, but the deer spirit steps on the rock and it makes an impression of Anthor's hoof print, and that impression, when it starts raining, causes like life to start being created, because that's how it happens like in nature. Like if you have a volcanic eruption, like a little pocket on rock will cause life to start forming. Mm-hmm. So that's the myth that's behind that card.
Oh, that is so crazy. I'm like having my own weird synchronicities.
Ooh. Oh, I love it. At the beginning. Ooh. I gotta check out CJ's sketch. Oh, this is cute from Sarah. All the kitties waiting for their salmon. It's the card. Oh, my future. So many cats and dogs.
My dream.
They're all waiting for salmon.
Yes.
Okay, here's CJ's drawing for Bigfoot / Fey entity contact session. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Like a bridge over a river?
Or a stream. Does it look anything like where you were, Bex?
No, not really, because I was in heavily forested. And the one part that did peek out, it was a suspension bridge, like hundreds of feet up, and there was all stone. It's quite a bit different. But this looks. It has to do with the fan.
Yeah.
And it's just a cool sketch too. I'll have to repost it. Nice water themes. It's always water.
Yeah, it really is.
Always goes back to the water.
Well, before you guys go, we should announce the winner of our contest.
Okay. That sounds good.
Should we do that now, or do you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So this is from, it was Mimi C on Twitter at Mimi C _, which I think is actually Joe, who hangs out here a lot. But I haven't seen her in the comments. But did the submission from the map that was like just the top half of a laundry lady, a lady doing laundry that somebody saw in their hall. So I don't know if you can see it.
Oh my gosh, so good.
It's really, really good. So
That's incredible.
Well
really funny. Excellent work. Garrett and I also dressed up. So I don't know if anybody saw. Garrett was the weird hot dog room. Which is this place in, is it Philadelphia or Pittsburgh?
It's Philadelphia. It's Philadelphia.
Yeah, there was it's on the map. Somebody was walking around and just happened to see this like weird little room dedicated to hot dogs, like on the side of this in a storefront, like a hot dog museum. And like looked through the curtains, and there was just like a dude sitting there in like a sketchy, like stained sleeveless white shirt, like looking out at her.
Yeah, that costume I made had hot dogs on it. That would, as I would walk, they'd hit me in the head like this, and I had hot dog grease. They were real hot dogs, so it was just like I smelled like hot dogs by the time I got home. I almost just left it too on the sidewalk because it was almost like one of those like cardboard cutout like things you take a picture of, you know, so that people would like stick their face in and be the hot dog museum themselves.
Our winner.
Everyone wants that. I love it.
But then I want to pollute, you know. But I thought it'd be so cool if you like walked and like all of a sudden you see like a mini hot dog museum.
There just be like a giant weirdo hangout, and that is like the like the picture opportunity.
Yeah, totally.
Like just hot dogs, and you'll just stick your face into these hot dogs.
Yeah.
Hot dogs used to be one of our signature WUFO offerings.
That's true. Yeah.
We got some good stuff on hot dog nights.
Mine wasn't exactly as clever as all that, but I mean, I think it was pretty effective. The mysterious bag of hair.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That was really hard to get that picture. Like I had to take so many. Like,
did you take it or did you?
No, I took it. No, I was like, because you know why? Because I hadn't done one, and I was like, I really, really want to do one. What should I do? And I thought, well, if I cut a paper bag and slide it over and go to the bathroom, that's basically what it was.
Amazing.
And I put it up there at like, when was that on Halloween? Oh darn it! Yeah, like 10:30 on Halloween. So
amazing.
That would be awesome.
I've been waiting for something like I'm waiting for like repetitive. Yeah. I was just thinking about how funny that would be if we were like, oh my god, you guys.
Recursive.
Like a game of telephone, but it's just like some weird thing and it gets across the country.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my god.
congratulations. We will send a prize to you. We haven't determined it yet, but it'll be cool, whatever it is. We have some ideas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we sure do. Oh man. Well, this was super fun. As always.
Definitely.
Sessions always drain me. My goodness. Okay. I'm going to hop off here, but have a fantastic show and can't wait to watch it back.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Get some sleep.
I'm going to pop off too.
Bye, you too.
Bye.
Hey.
Wow. That was fun.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Yeah.
I was gonna say, can I talk about how we're gonna have some guests coming up in the future?
Yeah. I think pretty much so we're just pretty much gonna play it by ear.
Yeah, I have some things to talk about if you want, and I
Yeah,
think you
that
do
would be
too.
fantastic.
So
Yeah, we
yeah.
both have things to talk about. So yeah, let's talk.
So first, I was gonna say that we have some guests coming up in the next 2 weeks. So next week we have our friend Time Scanner, who was in the chat earlier. I don't know if he's still here.
Yeah, I don't know.
And if you don't follow Tam Scanner on Twitter, I recommend it. But old weirdo friend and has lots of great stories. So I think that'll be really fun.
Time Scanner was like OG weird Twitter, like way back then.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Very, very awesome fellow.
And then so that's on November 9th. And then on November 16th, we have this person, Megan Elizabeth Trainer from Seattle. And she's like an artist witch who does this really amazing stuff and really like dovetails with what we do here at Liminal Earth and WUFO. I asked her to come do stuff, and she said, I was pitching ideas of like what she wants to do, and she said, well, I could walk through creating some electron spells with a few easy to buy materials. That's what one of the things she told me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. She does a lot of stuff like with like batteries and bog butter and like sigils that are electrified and like move things and about keeping and about how like witches were the original astronauts and like all kinds of and keeping billionaires from leaving planet Earth and going to Mars. And I think it will be really fun to talk to her.
Yes, absolutely.
And she has this artistic background, but like also is like does cool stuff, like practices neat things. So I'm excited to know that's on the 16th. So yeah,
that's gonna be great. Can't wait for that.
Those are the two like things I wanted to bring up coming up.
Is your light going on and off there? Is that?
Oh, it's just because I'm switching screen to like read my notes.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Here, I'll turn up the brightness here. Let's see.
Our new zine.
Oh, we can talk about that. Yeah.
You got a copy?
Yeah.
We've been teasing it for months, but it's finally here. How a Giant Tree in Winter Once Had Fun. A collection of procedurally generated folk tales. I'm really actually happy with how it turned out. And we are printing it on newsprint. So it has like a nice,
it's like it feels like a new little newspaper or something, or like a book almost. It's kind of really cool.
I'm sorry you're not feeling well, Janet.
And so those are folk tales that are generated using AI. So we basically like created story prompts for this AI to like write a story for us, and they kind of like weird Aesop fables that almost I don't know, like mind puzzles or something,
they're
like
almost
riddles.
Like it's overdone, but I'd say like like koans kind of, or
right,
Sufi wisdom tales.
They're so weird, and all the art is generated through AI. It's just interesting. They're pretty funny, I think. So, and I'm excited about the newsprint thing because I think I want to make more zines and do some like community zine stuff where people submit things and putting out little newspapers for people. I think that'd be so cool. Share all these stories that people are and like, people's thoughts on things. I think that'd be so neat.
About your idea that you had.
Which one? The new zine?
Yeah, the one you were telling me about the other day.
Yeah, I have this idea. I don't know. I mean, I saw NaNoWriMo is happening right now. I don't know if people know about that. It's like National November Writing Month, and people try to write like 50,000 words in a month, in the month of November. And I was like, oh, maybe I should do it this year. Of course, I haven't written 0 words so far, but I've been thinking about it. And the idea I have is, I was taking a shower and I came up with this idea to write something from the premise of just like using divination to create the story, and almost writing it from the perspective of us here at like WUFO. Like it's like writing like as a character that's like one of us, and they are doing magic sentences and doing Estes session, and I will actually do those things to generate the content for this story. And it will be what we are all doing. I mean, I might use some of the stuff that we did tonight. This is the idea. And then I think it would be so cool to make this into like a little zine, do this over the course of this month. Any dreams that I have, or if you have significant dreams, I would love to add it if you wanted me to, if it felt like it fit into this. But it'd be so cool then if the book itself is like a magic sentence generator. So you could use the book itself in certain places when you're reading it, like do a magic sentence at a certain point in the book so like you continue to become part of the story. But like, it's like it, you know what I mean? Like it is actually a functional thing itself. Anyways, this is the idea I have right now. So if you have anything, I was thinking this month for November, anything at WUFO, anything, feels like it's part of this weird community thing that we're all doing here. We're, contacting whatever's out there. And you feel comfortable sharing it with me, I would love to know that. So anyways, cool. That's one of the ideas I have right now. I would think it'd be cool to put it on newsprint and make a little zine out of it.
Yeah. We should do a starter channel in the Discord. We're trying to get people more active there now. So
yeah. And if you don't have if you're not part of the Liminal Earth Patreon, and you want access to the Discord, just go ahead and ask us and we'll get you in there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I wonder if you could incorporate like ritual aspects, like you have the characters like do certain actions, and then if you do those actions, like they'll have it would be like almost like a divination / grimoire.
Oh, so with the well, I was thinking about putting like everything that we do in there, like even like the UFO ritual that we did where we summon into a jar, like trying to do all of those things over this month. And all the things that we've collected, even like the Christmas spirit box, everything that we've done, and putting them in there and putting the results of them in there, and then it's almost like a way to show like here are just things you can do yourself, and here's the kind of results you get, and like you can expand upon this and try other ways to do this. So,
and then it's also it generates this kind of like Borges like recursive quality, like as above so below kind of.
Totally
a microcosm based on the macrocosm which in turn is based on something macrocosmic.
Totally.
Didn't Philip K. Dick use the E King to write some of his books, The Man in the High Castle? Yes.
Oh, wow. See, that's what I was wondering about, is like using that as all that as prompts for the content. It's kind of like the thing, that thing that we talk a lot about, like with David Lynch or whatever, where you just like, I don't know where this is going, but I'm going to trust that like I got this image that came to me. I'm going to film this. I have no idea how this fits in yet. And I'm just going to trust that it's meant to be part of the story.
Right.
And I think that was kind of why, got excited about this. And I don't know. I just think it'd be cool to experiment with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think also just in general, I'd love to make some kind of community zines where people are submitting stories, and so this is separate. I think just like I just think that would be so cool to have like a thing where we're all in print, I don't know if we've announced that we have like a new printer that we can print like zines and stuff now, and so I think it would be a lot easier to do this and like make content that has all the different voices from the community. So
yeah, and actually we should thank our patrons for that printer. I mean, that is like amazing. Like the printer is like so cool. And we literally could not have done that if it wasn't
totally.
So we appreciate y'all so much. We'll do anything for you. Well, maybe not anything, but
cool. That's that. I have some other little things to show off, unless you have something you want to been
Well,
talking
yeah,
about.
one of the things I was thinking would be fun to do at some point is, so if y'all caught us at Panpericon, we did the Resident Spirit Oracle, sort of like the indoor analog to the Liminal Spirit Oracle, which is the one from your, outside. And we haven't really done too much with that since then. So I was thinking it would be cool to kind of like look at that and go over that, and maybe even come up with some, like, during the process, you come to a mutual agreement with the resident spirit on a name that you'll both refer to it as. And I was thinking it would be fun to maybe come up with some name ideas and see if like we could like come up with our resident spirit's name.
Yeah, I think let's do that.
Cool. Well, do you want to do your things first, though?
Yeah, these are just like little things I was going to show up, but I think that should be the main thing we do after that. The things I just wanted to show off some things. First of all, that I made mugwort tincture. This big look at this like black oil of like
nice.
So I've been doing this before bed, taking a little mugwort tincture. So I'm excited about that. And then also I was at that supernatural event, like the supernatural night market, and there's this woman who came and like got really into Coco, the talking plant, and made a TikTok or made like a Instagram reel about it. And then I saw that they made jewelry, and so I bought some She lives in Bremerton. I bought these ghoul earrings from her.
Those are awesome.
I love them. And she came and dropped them by today. And her Instagram is Kamya Jewelry. Kamya Jewelry.
Kamya.
Yeah. She also gave me like some banana slug earrings just for free. Anyways, I just thought they were a really cool person, and I wanted to support them and show that I love these so much. They're like huge on me. I love it. And the other thing is that I got this in the mail. This 16, and this is something Jason Senoisia in our Discord told us all about. It's like an EMF detector that you can build yourself, and it's only $16. So it has like all the parts to like build your own EMF detector. So
it's kind of Ghostbuster aestheticsy.
Yeah, totally. I just think it's like a cool little project. It's meant, I think, specifically to learn how to solder and like practice soldering. So I'm gonna build that. Hopefully next week I'll have it so we can see how it works.
Cool.
Yeah, that's my main announcements. I just wanted to show off some things.
I got a new tincture today.
Yeah.
I got a ghost pipe tincture.
Is that the chlorophyll free like plants? So cool. They're like little white, clear
they're
white.
Saprophytic, which means they're not parasites, but they grow out of other plants like parasites, kind of, or out of organic material. They're really, really interesting plants. They don't use chlorophyll, like you were saying, and they do look like little ghost like the sandworms from Beetlejuice or something.
Right. Totally.
They just kind of like bloop. They live most of their life in root form. So, and they're perennials, so they come back. So if you harvest them, like, you really have to be careful not to pick the roots. You have to find an ethical source for them. But they're also in the same, this is the thing that I think is really cool, is they're in the same plant family as blueberries.
That's so wild.
Which is the Ericaceae family. So it's got like blueberries, rhododendrons, madrone trees, and then it also has this like weird translucent chlorophyll free thing that lives in the woods. And apparently it is extremely good for like breakthrough anxiety. So you take like and physical pain too. It's actually, a lot of people have used it for physical pain, and none of this is medical advice. Do your own research if you're gonna start looking into ghost pipe stuff. But so it uses something where it's supposed to be like it removes you from the pain. So it's not that you stop feeling the pain, it's that you step outside of it kind of, and you're like, oh, whatever, it doesn't bother me. What's that
Right.
And it said to start with like 3 drops. And I took 1 drop right after I got it. And 20 minutes later, I could totally sense that feeling of like removal. I didn't need to take it. Like I just wanted to try. I wasn't having breakthrough anxiety or anything.
Right.
I just wanted to try it. Make sure I wasn't allergic. Yeah, so it
Wow.
was really interesting. Like I'm looking forward to trying that a little more.
Where did you get that? Did you?
Etsy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean,
Right. The
I can
apothecary Etsy.
yeah, exactly. You know, you just look up ghost pipe tincture, but you have to be careful and make sure that they at least give mouth service to the fact that they know it's an ethical, needs to be
Right.
ethically harvested. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's cool too because the tincture is purple.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I've seen it once in the wild before. It's such a cool little plant.
Yeah. Oh, Jagged Path has it. There you go.
That's so cool. You were talking about maybe taking this, or either the tincture or maybe making mugwort oil and putting rosemary in with it,
Mm-hmm.
because the rosemary, as you've learned recently, some of the classes that you're taking, is helpful for remembering your dreams.
Yes,
Which is kind of
remembering things in general. It's memory.
Oh, right. Okay.
And I guess even like in the ancient Mediterranean, students would wear it, like rings of it around their neck when they were like taking exams.
In class. Oh, in class.
Rosemary. So sprig of rosemary next time you have to study for something.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So did you have an idea of how we would do this generating names?
Yeah. Well, let me pull up because it's still live. If people want to get to the document.
Okay.
That link leads to a PDF of the presentation we did at Pampericon. So the general idea, of course, is that just like the liminal spirit oracle, which you go outside and you talk to the spirit of your area, the genius loci or loci, just like that. But every time we do that, we were like, well, what if you're inside? And we thought, well, maybe there's like this resident spirit, like a house spirit, that like every single culture in the entire, well, almost, I shouldn't say every single, but most cultures in the world have this concept of like a spirit that dwells in the house with you. And sometimes it's mischievous, and sometimes it's like related to the ancestors. But we thought, well, if we came up with this way to talk to the outside one, let's see if we can figure out some way to talk to the inside one. So we thought it might be useful to come up with a way. So as those of you who follow us know, like we're big on the whole be nice to entities thing. And traditionally, like the old white dudes who wrote all of these rituals for contacting spirits, what they would do is, to get something's name, they would like threaten it with like, I'm summon God and the archangels, and they will cast you into the 27th circle of hell if you do not reveal your name and your secret, And I mean, it's torture. Like it's like, to me, that mindset.
Yeah.
In fact, I was reading something really interesting earlier that was talking about how. Oh wait, actually, I think it's related to that TikTok that you sent me about how like
I send you a lot of TikToks.
Oh, okay, so this one was about like it was like the atheist witch, I think, or something like that.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
And they were talking about how like the grimoires were written by like old white dudes. Like, how can you trust that things that they say are like demonic entities or whatever are that? I mean, these are the same dudes who were like making up reasons to have enslaved people, and
Right.
So our approach has always been, why don't we ask nicely? And if you're going to do that with like an entity that is disembodied, I guess, for lack of a better word, how how are you going to guarantee that what you're going to get is like the real answer?
Right.
And I think, first of all, like, it helps to assume positive intent. So I do think there's value in just like asking and seeing if you get something that way. But I also think that there is reason to at least exercise a little bit of caution around that kind of thing, you know. Just tradition says so, so why not do it? So anyhow, long story short, what we came up with was this idea of something called a name in common, which is, as the one who's initiating the relationship, you come up with a name of some kind. And you could use like an online name generator. You could use like pick Scrabble letters. You could use a name from history that you like, or fiction, or anything like that. Whatever that name is, then you would ask the liminal spirit in a formal, or the residential spirit in a formal way, whether or not it would agree to be called by that name. So it's a name in common. You both have this name now. And that takes care of all of the issues of trying to coerce something that doesn't want to tell you its name, but still being able to communicate with it effectively.
Right.
On that level.
Yeah.
So that's the naming part.
Yeah. Is that something you thought we should do, is to try to like go through that whole process?
I think it would be kind of fun.
Yeah, I think I wanted to we brought this up a little bit in the presentation, but this whole thing reminds me, I just watched Beetlejuice, and I think there's so much relationship to like the whole thing about like you know, the perspective of these being demons in the past is and like their viewpoint, like, is even Beetlejuice, is he like the resident spirit of that house in that movie? And like it's written from this point of view of like this negative connotation, you know, and like in a way the whole story of that movie is about these new people moving into a house, not respecting the people that have been there before or the things that are still in the house. And they try to like have a seance and like control it. And then there's a whole name about it, like saying Beetlejuice's name 3 times. And it's really, it seems like, I was like, what? This is exactly like the weird resident spirit thing we were doing. Like, and if you just flip the idea of it, like, you know, Beetlejuice is in that movie, he's kind of a jerk or whatever, but he could be just the protector of the house, or just kind of like, hey, knock it off. You need to realize who's, you know, there's other people here, other things here. Anyways, I just think it's just so funny. If you think of it, made me think of that movie totally different.
Yeah, totally. I get that. That's awesome. We just watched it too. We watched it with Nicholas for the first time.
Is there like, it felt like this year there's like a whole Beetlejuice like became really popular again or something.
Yeah. There was
I don't know what that was. Did anyone else notice that? It was like a bunch of stuff at Spirit Halloween about it. And I don't know like why this year is is it because of Winona Ryder and Stranger Things?
That could be it. That could be it. Yeah.
I don't, it was just, I've noticed it everywhere for some reason.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I have no idea. That's funny.
Anyway.
Huh.
Yeah, so instead they saw someone dressed as their dog as Beetlejuice. That's amazing.
Oh, the Broadway show? There's a Broadway show?
Oh, there's talk of a sequel. Whoa.
Now, what I really liked, and I wonder if anybody has seen, they had an animated series.
What? I've never heard of that.
It was hilarious.
Wow.
It was really funny. I
mean, the whole thing about like the book, the dead, like I can't remember what it's called.
Here it's
for the recently deceased or something.
This one.
Yeah.
And
like that premise could be its own series, I think. And like what you do after, I think that would be such a cool story and like series.
Sorry, Kai. Kai was it was really good. If you can find it anywhere, it's worth it. Very funny stuff.
Yeah, I would love to do the naming thing. I think we should try that. I'm trying to think of like how to generate a name for me.
Yeah. Well, let me put it like I should read the caveats.
Okay.
Is that you are not trying to control or coerce the spirit in the system, because that's shitty behavior. You're just establishing communication and mutual understanding, but you're also acting respectfully, and the results of treating your resident spirit with respect will be evident in the results of your practice. So, I mean, like, if you're like trying to come up with a name in common, don't be like, you know, Spirity McSpirit Face or whatever. You know, like...
All right.
Because we respect the spirit's right to self-determination, and because this isn't the spirit's like true name in that tradition, it has the right to not respond to your actions, and it might just not want to, and that's okay. You don't need the spirit's permission to share the name in common, but each name in common can only be used by members of the household in which the agreement was made. So, like,
I can't go to your house.
Yeah, I could tell you the name, but yeah, you can't go to the house and do anything with it. It can choose to share its true name with you at some point, and then you can change the name as long as it agrees to have the name changed again.
Okay.
For some reason. So those are that's it.
All right.
Kind of like, oh, one other thing that's really important, actually. Never feed them after midnight.
That's good advice in general, I've heard.
Well, if anybody at home wants to do this too, just take like a few minutes and
I'm wondering, like, you said like an online name generator?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's tons of them.
Yeah, I'll look that up. Let's see.
I already have an idea. That's why I thought of it. So if anybody at home or in the comments also has a favorite name generator or any suggestions, let us know. And let us know if you are comfortable sharing it if you come up with a name. Name generator.
It's namegenerator.org.uk.
Oh, there's one that's really nice that has like a drop down or like a few drop downs.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Here's one that generates credit card numbers. Oh, this generates band names.
Dating profile generator.
Oh.
Mm.
The band name generator is awesome. You want to hear some bands?
Yeah.
Anomaly of Brilliance. Kings of Wit. Failure of Rush.
Okay, this one lets me do a fantasy, and I could pick if I want it to be like a gnome name or a troll name.
Oh, that would be cool. Like an orc name?
Yeah, I'll leave goblins and orcs.
The Wu-Tang name generator from back in the day.
Oh. Pixies. Could be a fairy or an imp. Okay.
That's a good one, CJ. You're generating it now.
Yeah, it's actually gonna give me 20 names, and then maybe I'll just roll some dice to
good idea.
Figure out which one. All right. This first one's really all right. I'm gonna go ahead and do this.
Yeah,
so if I roll, what should I say? A 6 or something?
So what? How many? It is 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, roll the 6 twice and just pick whatever. It'll only be 12, but
Okay. But like, how do I know? Oh, that's the name, or that's the. I don't know how to do that. This first name is so good though. It's Cheeky Gutierrez Wawood.
Cheeky Gutierrez Wawood.
That's what it said. Or okay, so are you Cheeky Gutierrez? Got a 1, so I don't think so.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you were asking. I thought you were using the dice to pick the name from a list.
No, I'm asking each name. If I get a 6, I think that's the name.
Oh, okay, cool.
Are you Morala? No, got a 2. Are you Pixie? That's with it not spelled right. No, got a 1. Are you Arimus? 3? No. Are you Tinker Wallace?
Tinker Wallace is amazing.
3. Are you Brains Butler? We got a 4. We're getting closer. Okay.
All right.
Are you Jarcia? No, 4. Are you Shroom Strong Manga? No. Are you Nua White? No. Hell Hopkins Magic Durson. No, that's got a 6. Hell Hopkins. Hell Hopkins Magic Durson.
Hell Hopkins is good. That's a good one.
I like Hell Hopkins. Yeah, that's good.
It's almost like like
it's Magic Durson, like the Magic Man that came up earlier.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Magic Durson, Hell Hopkins. Okay.
Hell Hopkins. Yeah.
It's kind of like the. Go ahead.
No, you do.
I was thinking like Hopkinsville.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. It says it's an elf.
I mean, I was thinking something more like European folklore, like the Hell Hopkins is a diminutive, hairy creature that like lives in the mines, and
Hell Hopkins is a cool name. I like that. Hi, Hell. It sounds like you agree to being called Hell Hopkins.
A mischievous firecracker.
Yeah. Did you want to try? Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, theoretically, you could even like draw it or like come up with its sigil,
Yeah.
By working with it. You totally could do that. I wonder if you could actually invite it into a bottle of UFO water.
Ooh, okay. I'll do that tonight. I'll try that.
Yeah.
So I started the process of getting I need some new UFO water, but
oh yeah, I need some too, actually. I had a thought for mine because I've been having so I don't know. When did I mention it? Oh, it must have been during Panparacon too. Like I was mentioning that I've been having some odd trickstery house spirit kind of things happening to me since I started looking into this stuff.
You got the butter, the face in your butter.
Yeah, I got a face in my butter. I got a little charm that showed up in a bag it wasn't in originally. I also have so things have been happening. So, but it's all similar stuff. Oh, I thought I got 5 peppers. No, there's only 4 there. And then I open another drawer and there's 1 pepper there, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I've also noticed as I'm falling asleep at night, I'm hearing repetitive thumping kind of. And it's pretty consistent, but not so consistent that I think it's the house settling or something. It's thumping it's hard to describe, like a muffled thumping sound. And I was thinking that this is related to it. And I was thinking I might actually call it Thumper.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it's cute. It's the little Bambi rabbit, but also, if I talk to Nicholas about it,
Yeah, right.
Oh, there's Thumper. It's,
Yeah, it doesn't sound scary or something.
Yeah. So I was just going to do that. And I was just going to flip a coin.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And I forgot my coin. Hang on one second.
I was gonna say, I was digging around underneath my bed, and I was thinking about all this stuff. I was thinking about that zine I wanted to make, and you know, this month, like trying to contact things, and I found this. I found this under my bed.
Oh.
It's this really heavy little frog, and I have an 8 or 9-year-old. I asked my son. He says he does not know where this came from.
Yeah.
Amber doesn't know either. I mean, you know, who knows? There's lots of kids running around. But the weird thing about it is when we did that weird thing on WUFO a couple months ago, where you let us in a, you know, taking us into like meditation.
Oh yeah, the guided meditation thing. Yeah.
You had us like turn and see if there's like a companion or something there waiting for us. And I saw a frog, like a giant bullfrog that was looking at me. And so I wonder if this is any relation to that, because I was in that mode while I was like digging for weird CPAP supplies under the bed, and I found this.
Yeah.
I was thinking about like this zine or whatever. So yeah, it just reminds me of the thing the little trinkets moving around your house.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I totally do want to do that again sometime.
It was so good that time. I was like a really vivid when you were doing that, and you had like specific things you had us like look for while we were doing that meditation, and it really works to, you know, like I saw things that, you know, awesome. You weren't telling us what we were seeing, you were just telling us the kinds of things that we were seeing. Right. And it was so wild. It really worked. So I would love to do that again if you feel comfortable.
Let's do it again. I still think we should extract the audio from that one too.
Yeah, it was really good.
Cool. So I didn't find a coin, but I found something better.
Okay. Oh, that's the V rune.
That's the V rune, or the
what
V.
Is it? Yeah. What is this? What is it?
I forget. I don't do runes. It's like Kinaz or something like that. I don't know. I even forget what exactly it means. I was just doing rock building on a beach.
Right.
And there was something that was curious about the fact that I found this, and I can't remember what it was.
Were you doing something to Acho or H-O?
Yeah, there was something Acho related there. I was on the beach, but it was like a rocky beach near our house.
Yeah.
And we were building like rock structures, like forts and stuff like that. And then I just happened to find this.
Right.
And then it kind of looks like a V. And so there was that correlation between what you would put in the
dream I found on the beach too, this tile that had the letter V on it.
Right.
And I found out like maybe a month after you found that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, look at this weird tile I found. And then Tim, our friend Tim, was like, didn't Jeremy just find a V on the beach too? And so that was weird. So that was the object I actually put in the dream park where people try to meditate and like, or go have a dream about this object in a park.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking I could flip this.
Yeah.
And, rune side up means yes, and rune side down means no. Is that an episode? Yeah. So if you're a Liminal Earth patron, like at any level, you can go back and watch any of the old WUFOs. But we could open that up too at some point.
Yeah. I don't know which. That's the one where like it was in the summertime because I was in the hammock when it happened outside.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was actually inspired because I had just done a class where the teacher did a guided meditation.
Yeah, it was very cool. We got to do that again.
Yeah, we'll do it. Kinez, CJ says. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't do runes. So I used to, but I've forgotten all that. All right. I'm going to ask my resident spirit, are you okay with us mutually agreeing to refer to you as Thumper until one of us has a change of plans? Yep. Rune side up.
All right. So Thumper it is.
Thumper. That's really cool.
I would love if people are doing this at home. I would love to know if you feel comfortable, if you feel like it's okay. I would love to know the names of your resident house spirit for sure.
Now, the thing that's interesting that we could do with the name once we know it is you can go to the naming convention that we used for the summoning the spirit into UFO water. That's still on the site, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's Liminal Earth / should have named it something better.
Wait, the summoning into a bottle thing, or the
summoning it into a bottle thing.
It's on WUFO.watch.
Oh, that's right.
It's just
summon. Oh, it's not in my history anymore. I don't know, but there's this convention that I had posted for naming, coming up with the name for a spirit that you would be putting into a bottle or inviting into a bottle, that uses the classical Greek, like ancient Mediterranean Greek, system of letter attributions. So each letter has a number, yes, but it also has either a zodiacal sign, an element, or a planet. And you can use that system to come up with like a phonetic set of correspondences for any word. And it's really cool. Let's see if I can find it. I'm just gonna...
I put it on the stream if you...
Oh, you found it? Yeah, that's the one. Aerial entities summoning. We should mean that something better.
Yeah.
All right. So the vowels are all the planets. There are 4 consonants that are the elements, and then the rest of them are like zodiacal signs. Yeah. So like for Thumper, it would be like Ether, Jupiter, Leo, Fire, Mercury, and Air. So I could like write out what that means. Yeah.
I don't see H on here. Would there...
It depends on, so this is like based on the Greek phonetically.
Yeah.
So it's more like, what's the sound?
Hell Hopkins?
It would be more like, I would probably just use the E, like L, because they didn't have a letter H. It was just like the sound, like the apostrophe, the hell.
Yeah, so just start with Mercury then.
Yeah, well, that would be the short E. So yeah.
Oh, sure.
And then there's Venus is the long E.
Got it. So Venus, Cancer.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So that's, we don't have to necessarily go through all of that right now, but
what would you do with that longer form then if you just had these correspondences? You just go through and like look at what they...
I would look at what they mean and then see if there's any like preponderances of anything. Like, is this, because that can tell you like, because then you can go crazy with correspondence tables and, if you find out that there's like a lot of Venus in there, then when you're making offerings to it, you might want to include something that's the color green because that's the color of Venus. Venus is also associated with certain like perfumes and like rose petals and so you can use that and so you can kind of build like a little personality,
right?
Using this name. And I think that if the spirit doesn't like what you're doing, it just won't respond to it. So I hope it would just not respond to it. But the idea is that by like being mutually respectful, or at least trying to establish that relationship, that there's less of a chance that you're going to be dealing with like something malevolent or mischievous, or because you're coming from a place where you assume positive intentions.
Do you have a place that you use to like give any kind of offerings or anything to a house spirit?
I have a couple. I have it's a shelf in our bookshelf. And I've got like a statue of Anthor and an Orphic egg and a bunch of other stuff.
Wait, what's an Orphic egg? You gotta tell.
Oh, I'll go get it. Hang on.
I loved when we went to your house and you just had like a rack of flutes and like just like amazing weird stuff. It was so great.
But I have some amber up there and mushroom ink and stuff like that. This is an Orphic egg.
Oh wow.
So like
okay.
Yeah. So it's like the ancient mystery cults. Yeah.
And
it's kind of like yin and yang kind of. I mean, not like but I mean, I mainly I like it as an object of like on my altar because it's like it just has an air of mystery. Like seeing that makes me feel like, ooh, like it's mysterious. Like that's cool. There's something cool about that. Yeah, so I've got that. And also, the Greek mystery cults, and but I also have my Anthor statue.
Amazing.
And I have a statue of Asclepius, but that's in another room. And a replica Roman era drinking vessel that I use to put offerings of water and healing herbs in for Asclepius.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I would love to do the whole Resonant Spirit Oracle again. We did it for that stream. But if people don't know, the whole premise was to like kind of draw like a map of your living quarters and then drop these objects that you find around your house onto it and like where they land. You go find objects of that material because the markers that you're dropping are of different materials like rock or wood or plastic, I think. And so when you drop them, you go then where they land on the map. It is like a map. Go find something in that room made of that material that kind of sticks out, and that you use those objects to like then help answer your question or like work with whatever you're trying to figure out with your resident spirit. I remember really feeling like we did it and I got like a bag of old batteries, and that one really stuck out to me because that's how I felt that day, like just so worn out. We've been pushing really hard to like make that that happen, that whole what's it called, the Panparicon. So like I was feeling just so drained and I didn't get any sleep, and so that was really funny that's what I got.
Yeah, that is.
But I really want to do that again now that I have the name too, especially. I would love.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
but I'm not like someone who's done a lot of this kind of thing. I never had like a little altar or anything like that. So I hadn't until recently, to be honest. Yeah.
So,
and then I think people do altars and they don't even realize it. Probably, I probably do that, but like I never formally did anything like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I recently had this sort of semi revelation that like, everybody's like there's like this sort of fascination with like Shinto. And it comes out a lot these days in like anime and like Miyazaki, like Spirited Away and all that stuff. A lot of what you're seeing there is like Shinto, like that sort of spiritual movement, animistic, like shamanism and stuff like that. And it struck me that like
Marie Kondo too, right? Isn't there?
Yeah, Marie Kondo, like there was a lot of sort of animist
like
inspiration in what she did.
Where people are like, her whole thing is about kind of like organizing your clutter and stuff in your house, right? Or
right,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember Amber, we went through that whole Marie Kondo thing where you like take everything out of your house, your bedroom, and then like hold up objects and like, does this still bring me joy?
Exactly.
Like you have to like have like a connection with this thing.
Yeah.
And then like if you don't, then you like think it and you like release it kind of.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is like you talk a lot about we haven't talked a lot about the whole your animism thing, but
yeah,
I remember as a kid really like I was totally animist and like I remember like one of my earliest memories is like being offered 2 like suckers, and there's one that I did not like I didn't like the flavor of that one, but I felt bad for it, that the fact that I didn't like it, so that's the one I picked because I didn't want it to feel like left out, that not liked. And like that was like early on, like I always had, you know, like I felt empathized with these objects or whatever. Anyway, I don't know, but doing this Marie Kondo thing brought me back to that.
Yeah, it's totally, and a lot of that is totally based on Shinto.
Yeah.
But I was sort of like interested, and I kept thinking like, because I wouldn't say I like converted to animism. It was more of just like a recognition that like it kind of aligned with where I had been going with getting into the nature and the plants and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I was never into like the, neo-pagan side of things, Wicca and stuff like that, which I have no issues with personally at all, but it just wasn't my thing. I was always more in line with like the Mediterranean area. Sicily is where my family's from, and the Sicilians were originally Greeks, and so I don't know, but growing up I was always like huge into Greek mythology, and then the more I started looking into it lately, the more I realized Greek mythology is presented to us through the eyes of like these white Western academians, classicists, or the classics and all of that stuff.
Right.
But it's actually like when it's on the ground, it's way closer to Shinto. Like it's all like nature spirits, like dryads and nymphs, and it's not just like stodgy dudes in toga, and it's like respecting your ancestors, and like little shrines in the middle of the woods, and every oak tree has its own nymph, and every so like that to me was like, whoa, this is a new perspective on this system that I hadn't thought about before. So that's kind of the direction I'm going right now. Like not kind of Greco-Egyptian, like that, like the sort of Hellenistic era, I think.
Yeah.
Which, because I used to be like the Gnostic person.
Right.
And that came from that same milieu. It was just a different approach to it. So
sorry if this is I'm just wondering, do you know that much about Hestia?
Yeah, like Hestia, the goddess of the hearth.
Right. Because it feels like she's kind of like a domestic house and goddess, right?
Yeah.
And she's like one of these early god, like she's sister to Zeus and like Demeter, like Poseidon, the main like 6 or whatever.
Well,
or how many those? Yeah, but like the sister, the brothers and sisters or whatever.
Okay,
well, like they get eaten by Cronus, their dad. Yeah. But like she is not talked about very often, at least now in our like modern, and I just wonder why she is put on the back burner, I guess. Like I remember having that book, of like when I was a kid about like Greek mythology, and I was fascinated, was super into it. There's like no stories about her at all. I don't remember any, but maybe
stories about her.
Yeah, like about her.
Oh no, yeah. I think to me, like she's the fire next to which the stories are read or told.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like, I think it was kind of like a household deity in the sense that it's like, you don't need to mention her because like she's the hearth. Like she's
so close to
so close. Yeah, everything comes from, and the hearth back then, I mean, that's not just like a place people gather around to keep warm. Like that's where you cook your food. That's where you know, that gives light and warmth to the whole house throughout the entire winter. It's like, without that, then but you don't go around talking about your hearth all the time.
Well, speak for yourself, Jeremy.
You talk about that old dude who turned into a beam of light and impregnated a swan.
Right, that's a good story. Yeah, I don't know. Well, my mom gave me this plant, Vitex, that she's growing on her land, and it is associated with Hestia. So it's got me thinking. I need to want to go dig into it some more, and but that's an interesting perspective on why. I mean, yeah. Anyways, just curious.
Yeah, I mean, I think if people always think of like the Greek and Egyptian deities as like dudes in togas.
Yeah,
but they're not. They're more like these mysterious like forces, and and the real things that you interact with are, you know, resident spirits and dryads.
Right. That's
Anyhow.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to try that tonight. I would love if people wanted to try that home, you know, try the experiment. Is that all in that PDF, the RSO?
It's all in that PDF. Yeah, it's all there.
So if people felt comfortable trying it and letting us know what happens for next week, that would be a really cool experiment, I think.
And we can tweet a link to the PDF too. So
yeah. I'm going to do that this week. That's going to be one of my projects, I think, is doing this RSO and talking a little bit to Hal Hopkins.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. You know what we could do? I mean, and this might actually just cross over with your book project. But it would be cool after all is said and done to just put out like a little grimoire.
Like how, like, go ahead. What are you thinking of?
Yeah, something with the RSO and the LSO in it, and the summoning rituals. You know, maybe we wait until we have a few more things to add to put to it, but that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, it's like a list, like here's a bunch of tools and things. That, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna go check out because tonight we're supposed to look for the moon. There's a like, and then look for Jupiter and Saturn, I think, right?
Yeah.
So that's the side quest, and it was looking clear tonight. So hopefully I can go see that. And then next week we're supposed to look for the moon's supposed to be in a different place, but then we'll be able to see Mars, or it'll be closer to Mars. So
that's
cool. Sorry, I still have that cold. That's why I haven't been doing WUFO. I think we could see Mars tonight, but I think that Madeline wants us to look at how the moon moves over the week.
Yes.
So yeah, that's something to go try to do. There's a whole thing on Twitter. If you look under the WUFO tag, you can see how to do that.
Yeah, I haven't. It's really windy here in SoCal. Right? Actually, it's really cloudy. I don't think I'll be able to see anything tonight. But I'll look virtually.
Yeah.
I just pulled one more card and I got the star.
Ooh.
Yeah. A nymph.
Callisto, is that?
Callisto.
Is that? That's a story. Is that?
Callisto is
moon. It says Callisto is one of Jupiter's moons.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember Callisto in the myth.
The mythology is a nymph.
Yeah.
Daughter of King Lycaon. Follower of Artemis. Someone that Zeus was with.
Oh, she's Ursa Major. She's the big,
okay.
she's the Great Bear. She's the Big Dipper.
Oh. You know what's funny? I was at this soccer game for my son, for Yuki earlier, and I was like telling Amber that we can look up for the moon tonight. I told my wife about this, and also we could really see the moon. And it was like big, bright soccer lights, but there was like one star we could see, and I was like, I looked, and I was like, I think that's Vega, and I used the star app, and it was Vega, and like she was so impressed. I was like, and I would never know that other than WUFO doing like this thing,
it's
like.
amazing.
I've been kind of watching, and I think that's what that is, and I was right, and I was like, wow, I've never been a star person at all, so
That's awesome.
it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, cool.
She was like, "How did you know?" Yeah.
Well, this was really fun.
Yeah, totally. I'm gonna go outside. Thanks everyone for showing up, and next week, Time Scanner. That'll be really weird and fun. He has weird stories. We may even have another guest, but I don't want to say it until we get confirmation with that.
Yeah.
And then the week after, Megan Elizabeth Trainer. That one's going to be weird. We're going to do electron spells, apparently. So do not miss it. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And let us know, just add us on your average social media site or tag WUFO. If you come up with a name for your a name in common with your resident spirit, or do the divination that's in that PDF, definitely tag us because we want to know. Yeah.
All right. Thanks everyone. Good to see you, Jeremy. Yeah.
You too.
Bye everyone. Happy WUFO.
Happy WUFO.